I spoke with eCapitol News Director Sean Ashley about developments at the Capitol. Sean, the session is over. What do you see as the top things that happened that this session will be known for?
Well, this was a rather interesting session in that a number of bills rather quietly moved through the process into the governor's desk. We talked earlier in the session about the prescription monitoring bill that was passed and signed by the governor that requires doctors to report certain information about the prescriptions they're writing for certain high-level painkillers. Another bill which, although there was some dust up about it, the texting and driving bill, which passed and will take effect November 4th and prohibit texting while driving, slid through rather early in the process actually and was signed by the governor. That was a fun bill to watch because a freshman senator, Irvin Yen, was able to amend one version of the bill that then got sidelined, but then they adopted his bill that made it a primary offense, which means an officer can stop you for that. I think those are probably two of the more interesting items that occurred during this legislative session that didn't get a lot of attention on the other hand.
And of course there's the bonds for the museum and the budget and some other things. What about something that didn't happen?
Well, it's not so much what didn't happen to me, it's how long it took it to happen, and that is the budget. As many reviewers may recall, when Governor Mary Fallin gave her State of the State speech back in September, she proudly announced that budget negotiators would begin meeting the next day to craft the FY 2016 budget. We didn't have a budget passed by the legislature until the next to last day of the legislative session. We didn't have any word on that agreement until Tuesday before it was passed on Thursday. And when it was passed on Thursday in the House of Representatives, it was actually held up on a tied vote for nearly an hour before it was finally approved by the House. So I think one of the lowlights of the session, when the legislators look back, will be how they came about fixing and approving this budget.
2 constitutional amendments will be submitted to a vote of the people.
That's right. One has to do with the death penalty, in which Oklahoma would state that its method of execution is constitutional. The other is the infamous right to farm measure, which offers a protection to farmers and ranchers, saying that what they are doing is a constitutional right, and that any laws or rules or even local municipal ordinances that interfere with that right are in fact unconstitutional in and of themselves. Those will be on the ballot in November of 2016.
And the governor has until June 6th to sign or veto bills.
That's right. A total of 415 bills this entire legislative session, as I said, were placed on her desk. 65 of those came during the final week of the legislative session, so she has time to look those over and decide what she's going to do.
eCapitol News Director Sean Ashley, thank you.
You're very welcome.